Tonight, police to be out in force this long weekend, targeting drivers and thieves, and the Federal Trade Minister visits Port Lincoln.
With the latest from around the region, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening. South Australian police will be out in force this long weekend with drivers and thieves in their sights. Authorities urging residents to lock up their properties if going away.
Whether you're in town or travelling across the region, there'll be no escaping the large presence of police this long weekend. Patrols set to crack down on distracted drivers and thieves.
Thieves will target anything. It can even be things that you may not think are of any value. They may be of some value to them for whatever reason.
Police are urging residents going away this long weekend to lock up their properties and keep valuables out of sight.
If you have property around your house, make sure that that property is properly secured. So again, it's not an opportunity for people to come and just take it.
Most crimes, according to authorities, are opportunistic, with the Eyre Peninsula experiencing around 12 break-ins in a week. Police are warning residents not to be complacent.
We get very little reports of crimes occurring where people are actually breaking into cars to steal things. They look for vehicles that are unlocked. So if you lock your car, you take that opportunity away and reduce the opportunities for crimes to occur.
The statewide police blitz will also be targeting drink and drug driving, fatigue, inattention and in particular speed. It comes as South Australia's horror road toll continues to climb.
There'll be people visiting the Eyre Peninsula, taking the long weekend as an opportunity to visit. Take care on the roads. There will be a lot of police on the roads policing the road rules.
The message is clear: drive to the conditions and don't take any risks. Operation Safe Long Weekend will wrap up Monday evening. Nathan Rector, 7 Spencer Golf News.
And drivers are being asked to watch out for kangaroos this weekend after a surge in crashes with the marsupial. The RAA says there's been a record number of kangaroo crashes on our roads this year. Experts say the spring mating season and low rainfall are driving the species into urban areas.
When you're driving on the roads, particularly around sunrise, sunset or in the evening, keep an eye out for animals and kangaroos that do tend to hover around the sides of the road sometimes.
Drivers that hit a kangaroo should safely move it off the road and contact the Traffic Management Centre. A 33-year-old woman from the Yorke Peninsula has been arrested for allegedly possessing a 50-centimetre long taser. Police attended a Wallaroo property on Tuesday night after reports of a disturbance. On arrival, officers also discovered the woman already had a warrant for a non-appearance in court. She's been arrested for possession of a dangerous article and was bailed to appear in the Kadina Magistrates Court in November. Better support for our exporting industries. That's a mission Senator Simon Birmingham has for the Eyre Peninsula. The Trade Minister met with local industries in Port Lincoln.
It's not a visit to the seafood capital without a quick tour of one of our prized exports. The Federal Trade Minister meeting with Western Abalone and other industries to launch the government's review into the export market grants.
With the EMDG review, what we want to make sure is that it is delivering the maximum, most effective support for Australian exporters to be able to take advantage of these trade deals.
The scheme currently provides financial assistance to help aspiring and current exporters to grow their business overseas. More than $160 million is injected into the project each year.
This is a 40-year plus program that has been accessed by around 50,000 small and medium businesses through its life to help them export goods and services to the world.
One new export unique to the Eyre Peninsula is the proposed Cape Hardy hydrogen facility, the renewable gas already spiking interest in the Asian marketplace.
And they're interested because we have, of course, a decades-long record of being a reliable, affordable supplier of energy to global markets.
Rowan Ramsey says the review into export grants will help grow the region's industries and economy.
It's very important we grow some of the best food in the world. We need to get to the hottest market.
The review is set to be provided to the government by early next year. Nathan Rector, 7 Spencer Golf News.
While a council has made changes to the airport's taxi rank to help ease congestion, a local cab company has welcomed the move, saying it makes the airport more accessible.
It's been in place since a redevelopment 5 years ago, but local drivers say the current taxi rank isn't working. However, changes are on the way.
Hasn't been ideal, so pushing them to the other side of that barrier and allowing them to be able to come and go freely is a really good move.
The current taxi lane will move from left of the terminal to the adjacent 10-minute parking lane.
Make that the cab rank, which makes it easier for the cabs to get in and out if they're booked, if they're at the back of the rank, or they'll be able to just move and get on their way.
Council says it will offer a better flow for freight companies dropping off items to the airport.
Because at the moment they've either get stuck picking up the freight when the cabs come in, or they can't get to the freight because of the cab rank.
The 10-minute drop-off zone for motorists will be moved to the right of the terminal.
To kiss and drop, so basically it's just roll up, let your passengers out and then move on. You can't park there.
I think there'll be an education process to start with. Obviously they're used to being able to drop in the 10-minute zone, so once they get used to the fact that the rank has changed, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Parking is also available for 1 hour free in this car park. Just make sure to hold on to your ticket to get out of these boom gates. And taxi drivers say it will benefit passengers with the busy summer months fast approaching.
Give the customers a better experience away from the rank. So instead of having to sit and wait for the taxis, they'll be able to just move off as normal.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Still to come tonight, a Port Pirie man in line for an SA Music Award, and Kiss to rock all day long in the waters off Port Lincoln. Welcome back. Port Pirie West's very own Ethan Davis is going for gold with his music ambitions. The solo artist is now in the running for 3 SA Music Awards.
Ethan Davis has found his own creative salvation with a guitar in his hands. The solo artist is now looking to share his passion with the rest of the world. Ethan is a contender in the SA Music Awards. A bold step for his music career spurred on by a close friend.
She gave me an ultimatum. She said, if you don't nominate yourself, I'm going to do it for you. So I did it.
Ethan now running for a trifecta of gold, throwing his hat in the ring in 3 categories: Best Song, Best Solo Artist and Best Release. He says he's excited to see where the competition will take him.
If you get some good feedback, it's definitely worth pursuing.
A passion spurred on later in life. Ethan teaching himself guitar, bass and recently undergoing lessons in vocals.
Just didn't have the courage to put myself out there, because writing and recording songs and putting them out there can be very revealing.
Dominic Beaton, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Drought-affected grape growers in the Clare Valley will now have access to a $25,000 rebate. The federal government implementing an emergency water infrastructure rebate in South Australia's horticulture regions. The money is part of a $50 million fund to help bolster long-term water security in the wake of this year's limited rainfall. Legendary band Kiss is set to rock the boat in Port Lincoln next month, with 8 lucky guests to be invited. The band's teamed up with shark cage diving company Adventure Bay Charters to perform the exclusive sea concert. The performance will be used to launch Airbnb's new animal experience, offering 1,000 different animal encounters worldwide. Tickets for the concert will go on sale on October 15. The Broken Hill Vintage Car Club is gearing up for a big weekend as it holds its past and present auto show. The event will be held Sunday morning at Memorial Oval. Locals can expect to see some of the city's classic cars, hot rods and Harleys. Organisers say a group of Mildura car enthusiasts will be also showcasing their rides.
Everything that's got a motor in it and wheels, so from vintage bikes, cars to modern day bikes and cars and in between, so should be a good weekend.
The auto show gets underway at 10 o'clock. Wyler's Blue Light Committee has hosted a disco and movie day for local youth at the Middleback Theatre. Staff say it's the first of a number of events they'll run this school holidays.
School holidays isn't boring for these Whyalla students.
Excited? Yes!
Blue Light Committee hosting this event at the Middleback Arts Theatre.
And the aim is to provide activities for youth during the school holidays. So today is the movie disco.
The free event featured a screening of a movie new to hit the cinema screens.
Abominable, and yes, I'm very excited to see it.
My friend invited me, so I was like, sure, why not?
Police say it's important to build a strong relationship with youth in the Whyalla community.
We're here to work with the community, we live in the community, and it's important to have those relationships with the children as they grow up.
And look, and that's something that I love working with the Blue Light program on. They work really hard about providing opportunities for kids to kind of engage in the community and get out and support the stuff that's happening, so it's good fun.
And this is only the beginning, with the Middleback Arts Theatre also hosting some other upcoming events during the break.
We've got lots of great family movies and also some adult content movies screening for the school holidays.
And a special sensory screening also available.
Sensory screenings are for children who are living with a disability. So what we do is have the lights up a little bit and the sound down, so it's a lot more of a comfortable experience for people.
More information about upcoming events can be found online. Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Hotels in Port Pirie have been booked out for the local Gymnastic Academy's annual invitational. Hundreds of gymnasts from across the state will take part in the two-day event.
Port Pirie's junior gymnasts have an extra spring in their step. This weekend they will pit off against 600 competitors from across South Australia in one of the biggest gymnastic events in the state.
All levels, from level 1 right up to level 10. In both MAG and WAG, which is women's and men's artistic gymnastics.
Plenty of kids will be competing for a spot on the state team. The competition giving regional athletes a rare opportunity to perform in front of judges from Adelaide.
It gives our children that can't get to Adelaide to compete normally that chance to get there and train and show off everything they can to the locals. And
Port Pirie making a name for itself within the South Australian gymnast community, with plenty of high-ranked athletes making a trip down from Adelaide for the event.
Gymnastics isn't a very big sport in South Australia, at least, and so having everyone come to the one place at the one time, all for the same reason, is just a great sense of community, and that's what we love.
The event filling up local accommodation, with an expected 3,000 people travelling into Pirie for the long weekend.
They've got an invitational championship here this weekend, and I know that the accommodation in Port Pirie is fully booked out.
Without any major sponsors, the championship is completely dependent on the goodwill of local volunteers.
Pirie couldn't have this if it wasn't for volunteers doing it.
I could give my full admiration to the Academy itself for what they're doing for the young kids.
Dominic Beaton, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. Port Pirie Council going back to school on waste disposal. And Britt will have your long weekend weather forecast. Hello again. Port Pirie Council is upping its game in waste education in an effort to combat the growing trend of rubbish ending up in the green bin. Teaming up with KeySab, locals have taken part in a number of recycling information events.
An exodus of a not-so-organic material ending up in our green landfill. From children toys to mops and irrigation systems, Chris Davey has seen it all.
We want to get it as clean as possible. And as you can see behind me, we've got a lot of contamination in this specific stream.
The manager at Port Pirie's waste facility proud of the strides taken in recent years.
Pretty proud of our recovery here. So we're looking at about 61% of all material coming through this facility, and we're working on about 25,000 tonne a year.
But he admits there's plenty of room to improve. He wants to see locals be more mindful about what they throw away.
And just get people to think about, before they put stuff in the bins, what goes in which bin.
Council moving to better educate the public through key SAB education programs. Residents this week taking part in an active tour of the waste facility.
Having that transparency and seeing it firsthand what's happening with their recycling and their waste really does embed some confidence in them to keep trying their best.
A big component of the event debunking myths surrounding local recyclables ending up in the landfills overseas.
A lot is still getting processed here in Australia, so it's really important that we try to look on our council website, find out what should and should not go in there so that we can try and avoid some of that contamination.
Dominic Beaton, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Residents from across the region are being reminded to switch their clocks forward this Sunday, with daylight savings commencing across South Australia. At 1 a.m, clocks should be moved forward an hour to 2 a.m, losing an hour's sleep that night. The Country Fire Service is also urging residents to use the event to change smoke alarm batteries. Daylight savings will conclude on April the 5th next year. I think we're all looking forward to the sun rising just a little later. Weather time now, and summer has come early, with temperatures well above average. Here's Britt with the details.
That's right, John. Good evening. It's been an unseasonably hot day with maximums up to 15 degrees above what we're used to at this time of year. Port Augusta reached 38 degrees, Whyalla 36, Broken Hill and Port Pirie both 34, Adelaide 26, Port Lincoln 21. From the satellite, a complex low-pressure trough forming cloud over the region. Moving ahead to tomorrow now, with westerly winds tending northwesterly at 15 to 20 knots on the Gulf waters, with seas around 1.5 metres. It's going to be hot and dry again tomorrow, with strong gusty winds expected in the morning. Port Augusta and Woodner both looking at tops of 41 degrees, Corn 39, Whyalla, Port Pirie and Cleve all 38, Broken Hill 36, Clare 34, Kadina and Adelaide both 33, Coffin Bay 28, Port Lincoln 26. Taking a look now at Sunday and into the new week, a cloudy end to the weekend at Port Lincoln, looking fine and partly cloudy on Monday. Cleve and Woodner both fine on Sunday with maximums in the mid-20s, cloudy conditions heading into next week. Whyalla and Port Augusta both with sunny conditions expected on Sunday, looking cloudy on Monday with maximums sitting back around average. A partly cloudy Sunday at Kadina with a top of 23 degrees. Port Pirie looking sunny on Sunday, showers expected on Monday. Clare looking partly cloudy on Sunday, showers on Monday and cloudy on Tuesday. And finally to Broken Hill with strong winds expected on Sunday, looking fine and partly cloudy into next week. And John, that's it from me.
Thanks, Britt. And that's the local news this Friday evening. Just a reminder, you can keep up and catch up on social media. Just search for us on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. I'm John Hunt, thanks so much for your company. I'll have some updates later in the evening, but until then, have a great long weekend. On behalf of the team, it's good night.